in Syria. But the president says it's time to pull out, claiming that ISIS is defeated.
Our boys, our young women, our men, they're all coming back, and they're coming back now. We won, and that's the way we want it, and that's the way they want it.
Todd Pyro joins us live now with reaction from both sides of the aisle. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Jillian. Hey, Rob. Good morning to both of you. Just this morning, just a few hours ago, the president doubling down on his decision, tweeting about a segment on Laura Ingram's show. Quote, Colonel Jim Carafano on at Ingram Angle. Trump has made the Middle East a better place. When Trump came into office, ISIS was running amok in the Middle East. Over 1 million refugees poured into Western Europe. None of that is happening today. That's all due to Trump. End tweet. All this after a day that saw tons of negative reaction to the president's surprise announcement from his own party.
I'm not sure the fallen American soldiers want us to declare victory against a foe we haven't fully defeated yet.
I'm a pretty partisan guy. I can't find anybody on either side of the aisle who thinks that this done the way it was is a good idea.
I've never seen a decision like this since I've been here in 12 years where nothing is communicated in advance.
In addition, a bipartisan group of senators expressed their concern with the pullout in a letter, warning that, quote, any remnants of ISIS in Syria will surely renew and embolden their efforts in the region, and that the withdrawal will only serve to help Iran and Russia. Reaction wasn't all negative, though. Rand Paul tweeting in part, I am happy to see a president who can declare victory and bring our troops out of a war, with even Democrat Barbara Lee siding with the president.
Our brave troops have done everything we have asked them to do. It's time for them to come home. I think this is a good step in the right direction.
And now it is important to note that the Department of Defense makes clear that the campaign against ISIS is not over and that the U.S. will continue working to defeat ISIS wherever it operates. Guys, back to you.
We'll see how this develops. Thanks, Todd.
In Florida, Congressman-elect Lieutenant Colonel Michael Waltz says emboldening ISIS is an obvious potential consequence to a U.S. withdrawal from Syria.
But he also says there are serious geopolitical ramifications.
I agreed with this policy just a few months ago that we need to stay engaged as long as Iran is there right on Israel's doorstep. So we need to look at what happens if we just pull the soldiers out. You have ISIS that can reconstitute. You have Iran running amok. You have Russia running amok. You have Iran that could attack Israel. You have our Kurdish allies that are going to be hit by the Turks in the north. And then even if you do think we should just pull them out regardless of all those consequences, we should have gotten something from Russia, Turkey, and Iran for it as a concession. So those are my concerns with this pretty sudden change in strategy.
Israel, the major U.S. ally in the region, says it will study the timeline to determine the implications.
All right, a Fox Business alert, the Federal Reserve hiking interest rates for the 4th time this year. Despite a lot of criticism from the president, the benchmark rate was raised by a quarter point to between 2.25 to 2.5%. That's the highest rate that they've had in 10 years. And 2 more hikes are now expected in 2019, down from a projected 3 just a couple months ago. The rate hike causing the stock market, though, to dive. The Dow ended up at the day dropping more than 350 points on that news.
House Republicans are left with more questions than answers after a nearly 7-hour testimony from former Obama-era Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Many representatives saying they did not learn anything new about her handling of the Clinton email and Russia probe, along with the infamous tarmac meeting with President Clinton that has been under the microscope since the